Hello and welcome to the Space Between Ideas. I'm Blank Gates. I think maybe it's possible that some new people might be watching this video because I was just watching good old YouTube and I found out that Cursor is a 1.0 model. So after they produced this 1.0 model, I looked at the timestamp and it was only 9 hours ago. 9 hours ago, well, that means that people in Western countries don't really have a chance to make a video because everybody's going to sleep. And it means that the people in India and China are probably making deals right now. And since I'm living in a country next to Russia and Azerbaijan, the good old country of Georgia, that means that I am able to make a video on this subject before everybody else. Why is this important to me? Let me talk about three things. If you're new to my channel, take a minute to actually, I don't really care if people like and and subscribe. Take a minute to take a look at some of my other projects. If you saw my video last night, I do something called 10 o'clock in Tbilisi. The capital of the country, Georgia, is called Tbilisi. Every day at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m., I jump on YouTube and make live videos. 10 a.m., it's a project that I have, which is called Arrowhead. And let me take the next couple of minutes and just explain Arrowhead. And then every night at 10 p.m., I have another project. I call it iRobot. All right, so here's Arrowhead. And what is Arrowhead? Maybe it's a little bit confusing to you because what do we got here? So we got the Cursor Windsurf master prompts. What I'm doing is I'm using Cursor and Windsurf applet at the same time, building the same software program. And now I'm actually trying to create a dev environment inside of Cursor. And what happens after you create a dev environment is it doesn't need the big long master prompt that I used to use to set things up. Why do I have the cursor and I don't have my Windsurf master prompt? Basically, once you set up a dev environment, then all you have to do is you just write Supabase start and then npm run dev. Did I lose you? Well, the thing is, I have zero coding experience. I have no idea what's happening inside the code. I am an AI first approach to everything that I do. And so that's just it. So if you don't have any understanding about coding, this is how you do it. Oh, here it is. Here's the Windsurf prompt. Now, basically, my process is that when I start working each day, I'm using Google Gemini because Gemini has a 1 million token context window. It means that after I feed my calibration documents, you see I have calibration documents. It helps the Google Gemini understand the blueprint for my project and then the team operations manual, which means like how do I use the AI and what's my role in the project, what's the AI's role in the project, and what are Cursor, Windsurf, and Replit doing in the project. These are key decisions that we've made over the process of developing this software. Then we have the active sprint operation. We're currently in sprint number 4. And then we have the project sprint reviews, which after we finish a sprint, then we ask the AI to go through and talk about what it learned from the sprint and keep a record of those sprint reviews. As you can see that anytime I run into this situation where I've hit the 1 million token context window, or when I get really close to it, then what we do is we trigger a process of review where the AI instance is going to go through our entire chat and then figure out how documents so that I can save those revised documents and then create a new AI window and continue working. Down here, I've been just trying to keep track of the tokens as I start working. As you can see, the last several days I've been working on the dev environment inside of Cursor. It's been driving me crazy. But on the other hand, the whole point of what we're doing is we're trying to learn how to use these different coding tools. And over time, we're going to pick one as the go-to coding tool for developing our software. This specific Arrowhead project is based on the research that I did for the last 10 years using a series of managerial methodologies. And if you're familiar with ClickUp or Monday.com, you'll know that most managers are using some form of keeping track of tasks, understanding the status of those tasks, assigning a person to those tasks, and maintaining some kind of system. Now, this is good. ClickUp.com, Monday.com, I think they're really good at doing this. But Based on the research and the work I've done with managers over the last 10 years, I would say that basically when you're working with a team, you're going to have a series of loops. And you see, you have one loop, I call it the touch base loop. So what happens is after you make a list of all the tasks and you load them all up in your ClickUp, then you need to have your daily touch base. This is kind of like from Scrum methodology, where you're asking, okay, so what are you working on? What are you going to do today? What do you need help with? What are some potential sources of assistance? And can we update a status? Do we need to add or delete a task? Is there a change to the timeline? All right. So what happens is every day or every couple days, when you do a stand-up meeting with your team, or if you do a one-on-one, then you're going to look at the scoreboard. You're going to ask yourself, are all the tasks completed? And if not, then you have to go and you have to do a touch base with the person who's responsible for that task. And then after you have the meeting, then you're going to do a little update to your scoreboard. So you're pretty much stuck in this loop until all of your tasks are unfinished. Once all of the tasks are unfinished, then you're going to be into is the project completed? What do I mean by the project? So the project is the main menu. Over here on the main menu, you're going to be creating projects. And after you create a project, you're going to want to talk about the vision of the project. Now, after you finish talking about the vision of the project, then you're kind of stuck between objective, scoreboard, and touch base. Meaning that if you know the objective, like if you're the manager and but it's like your senior manager gave you the objective, then it means that you have a pretty good understanding for the work that needs to be done. So this little checklist helps you to like brainstorm about like all the tasks that need to be done in order to achieve this objective. The objective is what creates the tasks. So already you can see if you're working on ClickUp, maybe you're already doing a touch-based type activity with your team members, but this objective really helps you to hone in on the types of tasks you need to put into your scoreboard. So you have the first loop, which is the touch-based scoreboard loop, and then you have the second loop, which is if you have like, okay, so if you're not finished the project, it means you must have another objective. So you're stuck here until boop, you pop out, and then you have to create another objective. And then you're in here until boop, you pop out, and then you have another objective. Now, finally, the question is the project complete? If you finally finish the project, then boop, you pop out, and you're back into the main menu where you need to create a new project. Now, the interesting thing here is that there's a writer named Tom Buchholz. He wrote a book called Create Crucial Insight. And in his book, he provides some thinking methodology where if you're not really sure what the objective should be or how to manage the objective or to create a list of tasks, you can go through his set of ideas for thinking about what you could do as a potential objective to accomplish your project, and also how to choose which objective you should do first or which one is most important. And then once you've created that objective, of course, then you're in here and then you're back into the regular loop. So you have all the loops that you need in order to accomplish projects. Now, I've been using AI and to help me to create the code in order to turn this image into an actual software project. My second software project is something I'm calling iRobot, and it's pretty simple. It's not real complicated right now. So what I did yesterday in my 10 o'clock in Tbilisi, my 10 o'clock, 10 p.m., is I finished creating the calibration documents for Google Gemini. I mean, you could use the calibration documents in any kind of AI that you want to use. The most important part is just that you have these calibration documents that can help you to so that you're managing the AI and it's part of your team. So you can see I have the same AFB means AI First Blog Platform. I'm going to change that name a little bit, but basically we have the same thing. We got the project blueprint, we have the team operations manual, we got the key decisions log, we got the active sprint operations. We're on sprint 0. We didn't start yet. The project sprint review. Now, what's the difference between the Arrowhead project and the iRobot project? I would say that basically now that we're in our second project, this project mainly is I want to create something like an AI first blog platform, meaning that my own website I want to create a website where you're going to be using AI within the blog platform, within the blog itself. And then right now the blogs are going to be about learning French. So And then finally, there's going to be something called an iRobot Study Buddy, which is experience about how you can have a robot. Anyways, we're still working on that. Now, this in this area, I call it right now. It's called Alchemy Creative Center. And what happened is in this project, I've actually been able to. In my previous project, I have two AI personalities. One is called Liaison, and one is called Architect. The reason we have Architect is because I needed a software architect to help me to conceptualize the software that I'm building. And then the liaison is somebody who then takes the ideas and communicates directly with Cursor and Windsurf and Replit. Some people they think that vibe coding means that you are going to be working inside of Cursor itself and you're going to be communicating with Cursor the whole time. And what I found is that if you work with these AI agents outside of Cursor, then they can actually run the projects. Specifically, if you have these calibration documents, they can keep track of where you are in the project, and they can help you create the best prompts over time. They're going to get lots of feedback from Cursor and Windsurf and Replit, so they can create better and better prompts over time. And then basically, you're just copying and pasting. If you're other than like when things go wrong, the best part is when you're bored because all you're doing is you're copying and pasting from liaison to cursor, and it's like basically doing the whole process for you. In my new project, I've also created something called Arrowhead. Now, you might be thinking, isn't Arrowhead the name of your other project? Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe changing this name, but these ones are specific to accomplishing this, to creating, like thinking about creating the AI first blog platform, creating language experiences, and creating this iRobot. So I still have the basis, my old two guys on my team. I've learned how to use them generally over time, and now I'm starting to experiment with learning how to use a new guy. That's my team. It's me, and I now have three AI personalities that I've created with calibration documents. All right, so let's back to the on my YouTube this morning that there was this video called Cursor 1.0 update, and I didn't really know what it was. And then, oh, yeah, this is serious. Cursor 1.0 is out now. So how do we do that? S- well, I suppose we better take this transcript. Well, there's actually a faster way to do this. All right, what we could do is we're going to click share. We're going to go to copy. And then we're going to go to Google Notebook. Now, I don't like care which AI you use. What I care is about how useful the AI is. And so let's create something new. And then we're going to create why is this so big? YouTube. Right, we're going to add a source to Google Notebook. And I want to remove the advertisements from the uploaded transcript and just give me the Cursor 1.0 feature updates and what they would be useful for. I'm going to feed the ideas to my team and ask them how they can implement changes. Implement. There. So probably this is the fastest way to do it. We got BugBot, we got fully released background agent, report Jupyter notebooks, we got memories, we got easier MCP, we got richer chat response, improved dashboard settings. All right, so we're just going to copy this. Now let's jump back into a Gemini. Now I got two Gemini actually I have like three open right now. Who is this one? This is Architect 3.3. Architect 3.3. What is Architect 3.3 working on? I think Architect 3.3 is working on the cursor right now. It's this one. This is Liaison 3.5. I think Liaison 3.5 is working with Cursor right now. Let's just scroll down. Docker. Script-based copy dev container. Thank you. Windsurf's response. Yeah, so now I got a big problem right now with my Architect 3.3. And it is that we've been working on an issue for a really long time. And so um, I did create an architect. Did I create an architect? Another architect? I really didn't name it. I'm pretty sure I named this one. Yeah, I got my one Architect 3.5, but the problem is that I have so much context in my Architect 3.4. I don't really want to switch over to Architect 3.5 yet. But at the same time, so okay, let's look at Architect 3.5. So you can see that I'm using my project blueprint 2.1. And of course, there's the welcome message from the previous architect. Upload the 2, 3, 4, 5 calibration documents. At this point, it is fully calibrated with the 5 calibration documents. And then what's next? So project manager, this is a very detailed cluttered information process, specifically conversational Windsurf acting as cascade, highlights a critical point, Windsurf's project. So I'm not really sure the request. What did I request? So I went to Architect 3.4 and I asked it for like a report about all the work that it's done so far and to go in through the whole process of our dev containers and what did we do and what are the decisions we made and how are we going to change, so I put quite a bit of content to update this new architect just in case I lose access to the other architect. The other architect, I mean, it has access to the most current version of the calibrated documents because it actually did a new version. See, this is still an ongoing issue in my mind, which is that if the architect or if the liaison updates my calibration documents, then doesn't that mean that it now is holding a new version? Like, let's say I ask it to print out the new version of the calibration documents. Now, doesn't that mean that the new version of the calibration documents are within the context window? And so then over time, doesn't that mean that like it's going to forget the old documents, but it's still going to have access to these new documents? So I don't really need to calibrate a new window. I just need to continue working and make sure that every 1 million tokens I update the the documents. Now, I'm not actually that concerned about it. So in the new so the old the 3.3 of Architect, I think I'm just gonna leave it as it is right now. It's working on a couple of things, and I think I might just leave it and keep working with the dev container because I think I'm almost finished with the dev container. And then we're gonna move on to the next issue. So, but in the meantime, so I don't really need to up what's happened. Um, what's with like some little steps or some little things that are happening now as I start to update the dev container. And also, I can ask a report. I can go back to Cursor and I can say, all right, so can you review everything we've done with making the dev container environment and then give advice for how we should face this issue in the future? Then I can use that advice to update my calibration documents. Anyways, right now, I want to say that Cursor has an update, and before we move forward, I want you to search online for more details for each of the following features and help me. And who is this architect? Yeah, and help me decide which features we need to use right now. So I'm going to paste the information from uh, Notebook LM. All right, so I can actually just close all those windows over there. I can move my iRobot window from off the screen, which now all I have on my screen is the cursor windows and Docker desktop. All right, let's take a listen. Still typing or what? Sheesh. So why do you want to listen to this? Because this is going to tell you what's going on in a real project, and fully calibrated software architect who has extensive experience developing my project is now going to tell you how and why we're going to use these new features. If So it's a fully released background agents, memory beta feature, richer chat responses, improved dashboard, bug bot. Yeah. So it sounds like the bug bot, it's going to cost you money because it's only available in the max plan. Um, Now I don't want to go through this right now. What I want to do right now is I'm going to stop sharing my small window. We're going to jump into the full window. I'm going to share my entire screen. What you can see on my entire screen is that I have been working in two different windows because I'm trying to fix this dev container. I'm not really sure what's going on with the dev container. All right. Anyways, what you can see is it says down here, it says update now. So I'm going to just click update now. I'm going to be using this Gemini instance. If I can pull it over here. So right now, I currently have my architect here, and in the architect, we are working with the dev container in Cursor, and then we are working with Windsurf here with Liaison, and then now I created a new architect because I think we're almost done with the old architect in the dev container situation. Then we are going to transition to the new architect. I don't know what happened. I'm assuming it's supposed to update. I don't know what happened. It just turned off. All right, so this thing is going to be setting up the dev container. I know I have some. Actually, I haven't set up the new dev container after making some changes. The issue I was facing with the dev container is you see in here, we're opening the guidance MVP, which means we're actually opening this file. Uh, and the issue is like if you click this, you can see there's also Prisma, SRC, Superbase. There's a whole bunch of other files inside of this overall Gemini test cursor. So this is the first file folder. Inside of this file folder, we have these files. Well, we have these file folders. And then the one of the issues was that the files that like the dev container wants access to, specifically, like for example, this file folder called dev container, and then this file called .env, and then this other one called env.local, and then this other one called Docker Compose YML, and uh, so and maybe something, and then you can see here we also have Prisma, SRC, and Superbase. So I'm not really sure how to understand what's going on. There you go. So it does not exist. Workspace does not exist. Please select another workspace to open. No idea what that is. So I still got the warning. All right, so it just kind of has problems. New update available. Let's click that new update. Oh, shoot. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. All right, am I going to get my update or what? Let's jump into the Cursor app. Wow, 82 requests. Bugbot. What the dickens is this? All right, version 1.0, background agent. Create agents and edit run code asynchronously available in beta. Now available in beta. Bugbot reviews GitHub pull requests and identifies potential issues. Jupyter, okay. Continue. Uh, okay, what's going on here? That you have made changes allowing access to file folders, Prisma, or in Gemini. I noticed that there are same file folders inside of Guidance MVP. Okay, I can help you with this. It's important to keep the project organized and avoid unnecessary duplication. First, I'll check the content of this and this. Yes, the folders are this. This could mean a few things. The folders are accidental copy versions. All right, I want to do this one again. Duplicate chat. How do I rethink it? Let's go to here and then do this again. So I'm still debugging my little project over here. I guess I got to connect to GitHub. Limit spend limit per month. Limit bugbot spend per month. Free trial, $50. Which one are we doing? It's Arrowhead, Replit, Guidance MVP, Windsurf, Guidance. I think it's this one. Guidance MVP. Okay. Do I need to enable beta settings? Um, what's going on over here? Wish I wish I could add audio 'cause I don't really want to read this. Okay, I can help you figure this out. It sounds like there may be some confusion. Let's check the main contents. Looks like you do have that. Now let's check this folder. Yes, that those are also in there. It's probable that one set is a duplicate or an older version. Generally, the project's primary code like would be right. So my understanding here. Oh wait, we're supposed to be doing this settings thing. It's manual. So we got these things called. Okay, we got general. General. All right. So what am I actually supposed to do? We got no MCPs. I don't know what MCPs even are. We got the beta. Background agent. All right. Background agent's not yet in privacy mode. Okay. So how do I get out of privacy mode? You can go to settings to disable privacy. All right, we got our start background agent. Opus Max. All right, build, research, debug, add a longer horizon. So what do I do with this? All right, so uh, how do I use this feature? Doesn't work. Configure environment settings and secrets for background agent. Okay. Now, which one are we working on with this? I don't actually have somebody working on that specifically. We could do that in here. So this is the new architect. Let's focus on cleaning up the file folders in our project. Here, here is a report from Cursor. You need additional information, and would you like to do a more in-depth uh, review of the project and code? All right, let's jump back into this thing. I don't really understand what is like why is it appearing here? Okay, I can move it around the screen. So this thing, it says background. This one says okay, I can actually click background over here. Okay, so that means we can close this. Huh. Well, it's gonna keep configuring, so let's maybe not freak out too much about that. My expectation, well, yeah, it did it. It removed those files. Hey, that looks nicer. Everything's now inside of this file folder. Now, well, the whole purpose for opening this was because I was having some problems with setting up my development environment. I just want to do one quick little check. If I open up a new terminal and we use our uh, Supabase status, common process failed, starting directory does not exist. It didn't create the. Uh, well, I don't know. I don't have any time. I got another meeting I gotta go to. So join me in the next video where we are going to well, I got one more thing is liaison. I don't think this is going where you think. Yeah, this is for the next task. Why should we do that? That's so weird. I just forgot where we are. It must be here. Ah, yeah. Okay, what is the question? Um, which of the new features do I need to set up myself? Answer in bullets. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to be able to test this because it's configuring. So we're just going to run that in the background. You'll need to connect your cursor to GitHub. We did that. You'll need to enable it on specific repositories, cursor MVP instance. I think I did that. You also need to consider the max plan. Well, I don't have the max plan, but I think that they automatically added me to the max plan because it says I have $50. I have $50. I don't know if it's bug bot exactly. Connected it. Yeah, I got the $50. Your free trial ends on June 12th. Okay, so we got to really focus on this in the next couple days. All right, so we did all that. You'll need to enable this feature in the cursor settings. Yes, we did that. Oh, memories. Oh, so we need to rules, beta features. Where's general, rules, memories, general learn. Okay, we did that. Well, generally available. You might need to activate it if it's not on default. We did that. Easy NP server. Okay, although we decided this is an immediate priority. One-click installer. Bugbot. Yes, you're required to set this up. Did that. Memories. Yes, we did that. MC. Improve dashboard settings page. No. Direct setup terms configuration figure. New layout. There. All right. So I gotta go. Got a meeting. Good to see everyone and good luck with your Cursor 1.0.